since we've made you famous, Randy, when are we going to talk about splitting this payroll?
Oh, look, Randy's disconnected.
Hello? Welcome to Cue the Mic. I'm Darren Worth.
And I'm the wonderful Randy Twyford, thank you.
And I am Emma Derflinger, and it is episode 71.
71.
You guys want to hear a fun fact?
Yeah.
71.
This is officially Randy's 40th episode. He's been doing this for...
How did we ever survive without you, Randall?
I don't know, but you're doing a pretty damn good job, I would say.
Some would maybe say better.
40th episode. Jeez, normally he can't keep his attention span for like an hour.
Well, that's about true. That's why we got to give 7 days in between it. So I can get my attention span back.
And we only have it for about an hour.
Yeah.
What's really bad is Randy and I used to talk 3 times a week. Now that we have the podcast, shit, this is the only time we talk.
The only time we get to talk.
Which, for us listeners and me, is great. Because then you guys just talk it up.
Well, that's true.
You have things to talk about.
That's true.
I suppose.
How's the restaurant, Darren? What's the latest on the restaurant?
Which one? They got dealer's choice.
The breakfast.
Breakfast.
That's my jam.
Oh, we got.
Is it It's My or That's My?
It's My Jam.
It's My Jam Cafe.
We got all kinds of stories this week.
Ugh.
It's been a week.
Let's hear it.
It's been a week. We made some progress. Got all, I thought we was going to have to start chewing ass on contractors, getting them out of there, right?
Right.
Went to breakfast. Normally I show up at the restaurant and, Amanda and I have our morning meeting every morning at
6 a.m.
6 o'clock in the morning, and about 6:45 I go to breakfast because breakfast is sacred. I don't care what's going on in my life. At 7 o'clock is breakfast time.
Right.
And sometimes now that breakfast only lasts for like 20 minutes or a half hour because I got shit I got to do. But anyway, I come back to the restaurant about 7:45, and I'll be goddamn, the electrician's there, the HVAC guy's there, and the plumber there. And not only are they there, they sent the A-team. The electrician sent the A-team. The plumber sent the A-team. I'm like, what the hell? Is this like Christmas?
Right.
We're just
no kidding.
We're just cleaning this shit up, Darren. We're cleaning this shit up. We're getting her done. So they got her all done. They got her all done. But I was having problems. We seasoned off the grills. We got all the new equipment in. And so I had Brian, one of the guys that works for us now, that he's been running the food truck, one of the old cafe guys. He's been running the food truck. And I said, hey, let's get these grills seasoned up. And he's been doing odds and end jobs for me over there. And so he seasoned the grills, and I walked in and going, God damn, it's smoky in here. This hood not working. So the first thing I do is I grab a piece of receipt paper out of my pocket because, when you start up a restaurant, there's usually at the end of the day, there's 15 Menards receipts and a Fleet Farm receipt. And you got receipts coming out your ass.
Right.
Just because you're at the store back and forth getting so much stuff, you're just constantly back and forth. So I grabbed a receipt and I go out and it's not sucking at all. That hood's not sucking. I'm like, what in the hell? And that, of course, that's the one piece of equipment we didn't replace. And I just refused because I was not putting a new $80,000 hood on top of everything else. And so I go outside. We just had this thing cleaned, right? It was detailed. It was cleaned. And so I go outside, and the fan, I'm like, well, maybe the belt's off the fan. Oh, no, it's blowing out. And I'm like, what in the crap? So I went to the HVAC guys and I said, hey, you got to look at this hood. Well, first I called the owner of the HVAC company. I said, hey, something's not right here. I said, this thing isn't balanced. Something's going on. I'm either vapor locked, whatever. And he goes, okay, guys, they're going to do some smoke test on this thing. So they're out there and they're checking and whatever. And they said, boy, we think this return air on this hood's blocked. And I said, whoa, 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 whoa. That return air is inoperable. We deemed it inoperable, and that's why we put 3 new HVAC units on top of the roof to bring additional air into the restaurant. Okay, so right from the beginning, we were not planning on having any return air. That's why we oversized all this air conditioning and spent all this money on air conditioning units. So don't tell me this unit's not working on the front, because it wasn't supposed to work, and it's not going to work, because that's why we spent all this money. Now tell me why my hood's not working. So the technician goes, well, Darren, with your permission, I'd like to cut into the top of this above the ceiling and just kind of see, because he said, I think this thing's working, but it's just plugged. Okay. So they cut into it, and he sends me a picture, and I'm running around. He sends me a picture. He goes, yeah, this is plugged. This needs cleaned. Doesn't answer the question about why this thing's inoperable and why I put new units on top of the roof, but it's plugged. And I said, okay. And he goes, you're going to have to get it's not going to be a pretty sight to get this thing clean, but by now it's 4:00 in the afternoon. And
right.
I'm like, okay, we're going to get her clean. So he says that, I'm in the middle of the hood, so you got to reach 4 foot either way. So, okay, well, so off to Fleet Farm I go, and first I had to go home and get an 8-foot step ladder to get up so I could get myself up in the hood. And of course, Emma's mom, Amanda, she's going, can't you hire somebody to get this done? Because she's always talking about my misuse of time and how valuable my time is. And I'm like, well, Amanda, I'm going to do this after 5:00. And so I can go home and work on shit on the computer. I can just get this done. And I need this done now.
Right.
Okay. So just give me a pass on this one. So I go, and I'm like, well, I'm probably going to need a wire brush, and I wasn't going to buy a damn vacuum with a long extension because I was whatever. And so I get a wire brush, and I get a pole, and I just start buying all kinds of miscellaneous little tools that I think it's going to take. And I get some Sam's Club degreaser, and because it's plugged with grease on the bottom, I can tell. And so I get duct tape, because everybody needs duct tape to finish a job. So I take a wire brush and I duct tape it to this pole, and I got my headband light on, right? Because I'm up in the dark in the ceiling, and I'm reaching through this access hole of this hood, and I start brushing it this way, and by God, that dust is falling down. But I've got a tarp on the floor, but it's not falling to the floor, and I'm like, oh, this thing's really plugged up. So I'm just pounding on it, trying to get this dust to fall down. Of course, it's dustier and shit, and I don't have a dust mask, and I really don't care.
Oh, of course not.
I'm one way, and I'm dusting the other way, and I'm about a half hour up there, and I'm about 20 minutes into this thing. My headlight battery goes dead.
Oh, shit.
Oh, yeah. So what do? I grab my phone and turn on my flashlight, like this. You're watching YouTube, and I put my camera in my mouth, my phone in my mouth, and I'm got my phone in my mouth with the light on, and I'm cleaning away for the next 20 minutes with my phone in my mouth, because I needed light. Only way to get light, because there's no way I'm covered in dirt from head to toe. There's no way I'm cleaning up and driving. I'm getting this thing done. So I get it all clean from the top. I'm like, man, this thing's looking sharp. And then I get to the bottom, and this on the bottom, Randy, the expanded metal, it's expanded metal, the expanded metal on the bottom underneath the hood. I mean, it looks like, remember your cooker back in 2008?
Yeah.
Remember that when it was hanging down an inch? Remember that rule when they made it?
Oh, yeah. Supposedly.
Yeah. Right. So I So I get the scraper out and I start scraping that off. And when I
Oh
scrape it,
God.
the dust starts kind of falling down. And I'm pounding on the hood and I'm scraping. And then I'm like, wow, it's kind of blocked up. So I grabbed the degreaser, Sam's Club. You know, that shit will eat through anything.
Right.
And I
Right.
sprayed it all down and it's dripping a little bit more and I wait. And then I'm spraying some more. And pretty soon I'm like, okay, looks like it's coming clean. So then I get up on the ladder and oh my God, there's about an inch full of 10-year-old grease and sludge and
Yikes.
dust all mixed together. Well, guess who forgot rubber gloves? Yeah, that'd be
Oh
me.
boy.
So I'm like, well, I guess I'm just going to start sludging this thing away. So I just grab my hand and start sludging her away. And I'm taking her. There was somebody that ate some lunch and I had a 9x9. So I'm sludging her into this knife. I fill up this 9x9. Then I get another 9x9. I fill up this other 9x9 full of sludge. And luckily it didn't smell, but I get that all, and then I Sam's Club degrease it again, and I get a scraper and I scrape it. And then I Sam's Club degrease again and buy it. And then I get some towels up there and shit. Now I got it spit shined. I'm
Right.
like, now, so then I get up top and I put my phone light on, and by God, I can see the ground. I can see light. And I'm like, that son of a bitch is clean. Go over and flip on the hood, and oh, man, I'm like, first a big old puff of poof, you know.
Sure.
And dust went everywhere, and by God, it just sucked over there. And I get my receipt paper out, and it just starts dancing. I'm like, oh, got me a clean.
So you got her.
Yep. And Sherry, just that time, Sherry calls. Because what are you doing? I said, I'm at the jam. She goes, what are you doing? I said, never mind. She goes, I'll just stop by. And I said, okay, that'd be great. She walks in the door and went, what in the hell?
I could just hear her.
And I said, hey, I need some help. She goes, what? And I said, I got to go outside, open the door. I said, there's some paint thinner out by the walk-in cooler. I've been keeping it outside. I didn't want to keep it inside. I said, I need you to pour paint thinner all over me so I can get this sludge off of me. So she got me all paint thinnered up, and I got all this shit. I still got shit on my finger. I mean, it's days later, and I still haven't got it all out of me. But
But you got her working.
I got her working. She's clean. I still don't have an answer why I spent all that money on them HVAC units to provide, or all them HVAC units to try and return air when it was just a dirty hood. But that's okay. I'll figure that out some other day. So anyway, so I hired a couple of the old employees, and they came and I hauled tables on Thursday all day, and tables and chairs. And so I had the box truck, and so I was at the warehouse loading the truck full of tables, and I'd bring it over to them, and they were blowing off the dust because we never took them out right at the beginning, right?
Right.
And so they're spit shining them and pledging them and then hauling them back into the restaurant. And then I go get another load of chairs, and so I hauled 4 loads of furniture. And as soon as I get another load loaded up by myself, then I get back, and the 2 of them had everything. So we spent all day getting that all cleaned and got everything back into the restaurant.
So you got all the furniture back in.
Yep, and our oven that was supposed to not be there for 7 days, it showed up, which is good.
Sure. Yeah.
So that's moving along, and
so
then,
are we actually in the 3-week time frame now?
Let's just not jump to conclusions here,
Okay.
Right. Don't push our luck.
right? Because
Okay.
I'm today I'm sitting at 2nd Avenue having a meeting talking about staffing, and Sherry called and says, I got some really bad news.
Oh,
boy.
That's never good.
Just hit me with it, Sherry. You ain't gonna. What is it? Walk-in coolers down at the jam. Brand new walk-in coolers down at the jam. I'm like, that's not bad news, Sherry. That's just normal shit. Next question. So I went by. I thought maybe the electrician hit the wrong breaker or something, but no, I didn't hop up on top of the roof. It's not frozen, but I'm sure there's something wrong. I'm sure, being a new cooler, I'm sure we've blown out some Chinese copper, just like every other new cooler we put in. I'm sure it's blown out a copper line, and same problem we have with every piece of refrigeration equipment we get. It gets out of high pressure, all this new refrigerant's all high pressure shit. And every
Right.
time we put one in, it blows out of line.
Huh.
Just never.
Did you have anything in it?
Well, yeah, I couldn't get I had some Powerade Zero and a bottle of, a whole case of water that's warm now. It's 80 degrees. Couldn't get myself
Jesus
anything
Christ.
to drink.
Well,
No,
that's
Randy.
good. You didn't have.
No, Randy, and the funny thing is, I've been watching this commercial Slaps every time on Facebook. He put in this, ThermalWorks has this new node. Have you seen the node, ThermalWorks node?
That you put on the outside of the cooler?
You put on the outside and you put a probe and then you hook it to Wi-Fi and it notifies you when your walk-in cooler
Right.
goes above a certain temperature and it'll send you a text or an email and alert you when the walk-in cooler.
Right.
You know that node doesn't do much good sitting at the floor of the walk-in cooler right next to it until you actually mount it on there and drill the one hole through and hook it to your Wi-Fi. It doesn't really do much good until
Doesn't
you
really
actually install it. It doesn't do much good in the box. And walking
Right.
by it 15 times last week going, fuck, I'll get to it. Fuck, I'll get to it.
I'll get to it.
I'll get to it. Doesn't do much good.
That seems logical.
Yeah. Just, it would have been different. There was something in there, but there wasn't anything in there.
So that's a good thing.
Don't worry. I called my old buddy T-Rex and because he was out and he went out, drove all the way out to Hill City, South Dakota and got murdered this weekend again. And he got, for the second weekend in a row, he got 155 and a score of 155 in brisket. And so I had 2 weeks in a row. I'm like, how does a guy do that? I mean, I'm pretty sure that I could send Emma to a barbecue contest and call her up on the phone and walk her through how to cook a brisket, and she wouldn't get a 155. That's how bad.
I think you have too much confidence in me.
Well, no.
So what do you think the
I burnt
answer to that question
potato
is?
soup.
What do you think?
I don't know. He couldn't figure out because he thought his brisket was good both weeks. So, I went through the normal things. Did you taste your brisket injection? Well, I normally do. But did you? Because if it's happened 2 weeks in a row, did you have, because sometimes you got to taste your injections. There's a little hint. I think we've talked about that before. But if you don't taste your injection, you never know. Something can be fucked up in the manufacturing process. And if you get a brisket injection that's gets way too much salt in it or whatever, you could be sending a salt block off to the judges and they go,
Sure.
What the fuck is this? Or some weird flavor or, you just never know.
Yeah.
Huh.
Could taste like my mac and cheese at Smokey D's today. Son of a bitch.
Salty?
That was my, huh?
It was salty?
Oh, no, it wasn't salty. It just funky. We outsourced our mac and cheese production a couple of years ago, 2-3 years ago. And we had a batch that came through about a month ago. And it had this, it wasn't rotten, but it just had this sour taste and they used to put citric acid in it to turn, that's what they used to take cheddar cheese in a factory to turn cheddar cheese into sharp cheddar cheese. They use citric acid to give it that flavor. And it had that really sharp, not good, right?
Right.
And I'm like, so I called the president of the company, and I said, something's fucked up here. You put too much citric acid there. And they save a test batch. And he goes, Darren, it's not citric acid. We don't put that in there anymore. I'm like, what do you mean you don't put that in there anymore? It says on the label you do. Yeah, we haven't changed your label. Well, first of all, you haven't changed your label. And second of all, why don't you put it in there? Because that was the recipe. Right?
Right.
Yeah.
Well, then they go back and said, well, no, the batch here, it must have been handled wrong. Well, the shit just came in this morning, and you're telling me it's bad. Well, it must have been something PFG must have mishandled it. Well, I'm here to tell you, every food service guy in the world monitors every temperature because they've got all this HACCP controls just like everybody else. Right? And so you're going to fight it. So we just kind of brushed it off. Well, now it's happened the second time. So, well, guess who's going to lose a job?
Yeah.
Right? Guess who's going to
Lay
lose
down the law.
Guess who's going to lose the mac and cheese business tomorrow?
Yeah.
Because I've got a replacement.
And then they won't understand why.
And then they won't understand why.
So what, you're actually going to switch it up? You're not even, that's not even a threat. That's real.
Oh, no.
Oh my
real.
God.
That's real. I've already got the new shit.
That's nerve-wracking. How?
No, it's not nerve-wracking.
It is to me.
What's nerve-wracking is when it's not right.
Well, it's not
That's fair.
nerve-wracking. You just have to fucking, don't worry. Always have a backup plan, Emma. I've been working on a backup plan for a month and a half. Trust me.
That's fair.
Randy's already been running that backup plan for many months now.
Yeah, exactly.
I always test shit on Randy to make sure it works.
That's right.
That's good. I mean,
That's exactly
I would probably do that too. I think one of my favorite days ever working at Smokey D's was I had to go pick up the mac and cheese once in Illinois.
Yeah, when they didn't produce it in time.
Yeah, that was fun. Just me and my podcast and the open road. It's beautiful. Nobody called me. It was awesome.
Yeah.
But-
So anyway, but the jam's moving closer. Somehow we got to figure out this jam thing, but we're still working on that.
3 more
Yeah.
weeks.
No,
My mom said that.
we got to get her done in more than 3 weeks because Murfreesboro, Illinois barbecue contest is in 3 weeks, and
Yeah.
if I don't get that sumbitch open, then I can't go to Murfreesboro. So we got to figure out a way to get it open. Randy, you're gonna have to come up and help get this sumbitch open
I'll come up.
because otherwise you're gonna have to cook Murfreesboro without me.
My mom was. He could do it.
What?
He could do it.
Oh yeah, you could do it.
But my mom and I this weekend, somebody was asking about the breakfast restaurant at the lake, and she said, "Oh yeah, should open in about 3 more weeks." And then looked right at me, and we just giggled, and everyone else was like, "Oh, that's so nice," and we're like, "It's not gonna open in 3 weeks." It's just this ongoing joke with anybody and everybody. It's been 3 more weeks for the last 4 months.
That's okay.
That's okay though.
Who knows? I'd like to get her opening too, but that's gonna be some sleepless nights in the next 2 if
Yeah.
we're gonna get that happening.
It'd be great.
We are starting school lunch program tomorrow. Is she excited about that?
I think so.
Yeah?
Yeah, I think so.
I went through today at the menu and stuff, and I made sure everything was done for when she got here tomorrow so she didn't have to stress.
She'll appreciate that.
Yeah, everything's done.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah, everything's done, ready to go.
Well-
I even looked at the menu for the rest of the week to make sure everything looked good. And piece of cake.
Right on. It's going to be cool.
Yeah.
It'll be a cool thing.
Be fun.
But, Randy, what about you? What's going on with you?
Well, I've been busy doing some out of the ordinary stuff.
Ooh,
Out of the ordinary.
let's hear
I
it.
mean, yeah. Well, we've been doing we had 2 of these heavy appetizer events.
Orstivorous?
Yeah. Kind of snacks type deal. And so we did our lamb tacos, and those turned out
look good.
They turned out exceptional. And then we did our cheddar cheese sausage, and that turned out real well with sweet
That sounds
pickles
good.
along with it, and on a piece of brioche. And then we did
Did you serve that cold or hot?
warm.
Warm.
It's hot.
Okay.
And then we did our pork rind nachos. All these in just small boats, small appetizer things. And then we did a baby back rib, just a single rib bone.
Yeah.
And turned out real well for both events. We did one Thursday night, and then we did one last night. So
Same menu, same customer?
yeah.
Or?
Well, no, completely different customers, but same menu. The only difference was on last night we did jackfruit sliders, also because we had quite a few vegetarians.
I remember you being a jackfruit guy.
Oh yeah, made that all up, and some people, more of it moved than I thought it would, and I think it was just people out of curiosity.
Yeah,
And
I'm curious.
and everybody that tried it said this tastes just like pulled pork.
Yeah.
It's got a barbecue flavor to it and a smoke flavor to it, and but plain
That's
it tastes like
interesting.
cardboard. But
The what?
when you have it plain, you don't have it seasoned or anything.
Right.
It tastes like cardboard.
Right.
And
How do you know what cardboard tastes like?
I've ate it before.
Well,
Just kind of,
weird.
there's no flavor to it. And that's what
Yeah.
makes it kind of interesting to work with, because you got a kind of a clean slate to work with. And
That makes
so
sense.
any type of flavor you want to put into it, you can. So,
Clean slate.
yeah, clean slate. I always like working with a clean slate.
Like
And,
a clean slate, or would that be what would an artist call it? I have a word there. A clean
Something palette. Huh?
canvas. A canvas.
Yeah, a plain canvas.
Canvas.
And that's what I feel like I am
Blank
with
canvas.
jackfruit.
You're that's
We keep at
Picasso.
least 2 cases of it around, because you never know. I mean, we get quite a few requests for vegetarian event.
What?
Things. Shit, I did.
What is
I just had-
jackfruit? I don't think I've ever heard of that.
jackfruit.
It's a fruit that's
Yeah.
raised in Puerto Rico. It's raised in Puerto Rico, and
Yeah.
it's a huge thing. And then they cut it all down and it's got a lot of rind on it and stuff.
Oh,
and little
interesting.
prickly things. And they take all that off and then process it. So
What's that? What's jackfruit costing a pound these days?
have no idea. It's been so I've had some for a while. I don't know, but it's handy to have around when somebody has a guest that's vegetarian, because you can throw that jackfruit in there and you got them covered. So it's kind of handy to have around.
So how do
Yeah.
you have it? You got it portioned out
Looks
in the
kinda
freezer,
creepy.
or what?
What's that?
Do you have it portioned out in the freezer, or what do you got?
No, it comes in a bag, vacuum packed bag. You don't have it froze, and then I just, as I need it, I open up a bag and use what I need out of it, and then
So it's shelf stable.
yeah, you don't have to put it in refrigeration or anything when it's when it first before you open it.
I feel like
And
that's something this restaurant should be doing.
There's
No,
some of it is frozen.
We are not vegan friendly.
So there's some of it that's frozen.
We have veggie burgers.
And then there's some that's canned. And I got a can of it. A salesman gave me a can of it, and I've never had the courage to open it up. I like what I'm doing now with this shelf-stable stuff, and works pretty good.
Huh.
So busy with that, busy with that, and then striking out with a bunch of caterings this week. So, and all my football and basketball guys have went back to school, so it's kind of single stroke.
Single stroke.
Why? Why?
He can play whatever music he wants in the kitchen now.
Yeah, I've been playing Jackal, and that kind of gets me fired up.
Jackal.
Yeah,
Don't even know what that is.
it's pretty crazy music.
I'm gonna.
You tell it to play Jackal radio, and you get some pretty wild stuff. It'll get you pumped up.
Like I helped cater
How do you
last
spell
night for
jackal?
I don't know.
Jackal.
Jack.
Yeah,
Like-
JCK.
Like last night, we were over in Illinois and we were helping cater for this Tracy. What was his name? Tracy.
Like
Lawrence?
this?
Tracy Lawrence.
Like these people. Like this.
Yeah, that's them.
Yeah. Yeah, I was catering for this. I was helping Brian and Carrie cook steaks and stuff for Tracy Lawrence, and I said, "By God, I better Google in case this guy walks out because I don't have a clue."
What he looks like.
We're sitting amongst all these big tour buses. I'm like, yeah, I probably ought to see what this guy looks like in case he walks up and wants to talk, because I don't have a fucking clue. I know he was opening for Luke Bryan today at Wrigley Field, but I still have
That's
no clue
huge.
who he is.
Yeah.
Oh, Luke Bryan at Wrigley Field?
Yeah,
I thought earlier you said Zach Bryan, which
I think Luke
is
Bryan. Zach Bryan.
yeah.
I don't know.
One of the
Well, Zach-
Bryan brothers.
No,
I know
they're
we're
not.
going to. I know one thing. We're going to. We're going to Vegas to cook a barbecue contest in December if we
Uh-huh.
ever get this restaurant open.
Right.
Oh, I hope
And
it's open by December.
Me too. Otherwise, now I'm going to forget that sumbitch's name.
Give me a genre and
Country.
okay,
Um,
and give me an initial.
I know what. So we committed last night. My bride's looking around, and we're going to go see George Strait.
Oh, okay.
That'll be cool.
Yeah.
That's
Cool
who you were just struggling to figure out.
Yeah.
George Strait.
It's been a long day, Emma.
Yes.
But George Strait, oh my God. I said, yeah, we can go to George Strait. Yeah, let me get on site and get us some tickets. Oh,
I could only imagine.
he's a popular sumbitch.
Yeah.
Yeah, he is. He's George
What were the
Strait, man.
tickets?
Huh?
What were the tickets?
You don't want to know.
Yeah, we do, actually.
Yeah,
I just want to
curious.
compare.
Well, I looked at 6 of them.
Uh huh.
6. Okay.
Probably 6 of us go. 6 was just shy of 10 grand.
Holy shit. Holy shit. And were they the very best seats in the house, or just pretty decent seats?
Well, they were.
Oh.
It was at the Raiders Stadium, and the stage is on one side. And I mean, I think if I reached out,
Were you gonna get
slap me 5? No,
Okay.
this wasn't a suite. This wasn't a suite.
They were just really good seats.
So, I think Stubhead said amazing on their thing.
Amazing.
It's StubHub, first of all.
Whatever, Emma. Take it easy on me. It's been a long day.
Sorry. I'm gonna look it up. I want to see what these seats look like.
Incredible.
George. Hope
So anyway, that's about all that's going on in my world. Just catering and getting things ready to go for that. So
Getting ready, things go.
what are you looking at, Emma?
I'm trying to find these tickets.
Oh,
I'm just curious.
Oh, don't forget about the $400 damn service fee.
Oh
Is that
yeah,
right?
that'll do it. Okay, let's see.
Crazy.
6 tickets. Continue. Well, first of all, holy shit. So you were gonna be on the floor?
No,
My-
I didn't want to be on the
Oh.
floor. I didn't want to
So-
get passed up.
Oh, so you're gonna be on. So let's say the stage is facing that way. You're gonna be on the right side. Okay. Holy bejeebies. Yeah, I could see. It's 2 mortgage payments for me, but whatever. If you get that kind of money for 1 seat, why wouldn't you?
I'm trying to think of who's opening for him.
Let me look.
I think there's some pretty good names.
oh, I bet.
Better be Jelly Roll. Then I'll pay double.
It doesn't say.
Sure, you
Specifically.
told me today.
I could probably find it.
So, do we have any
Yes.
comments from last week's podcast, or any questions or anything?
Oh, look at Randy being on task. Way to go, Randy.
Back
my
on
gosh.
task.
Chris Stapleton
Oh,
Chris
okay.
Stapleton. Who's he?
and country artist, a big one.
You're talking to a guy that I don't listen
That's
to
fair.
music.
Right.
It's a big country artist. I'm in Little
Is he
Big Town.
Big?
Also
Is he
pretty big.
Oh, Little Big Town.
Yeah.
Any of them got any hot chicks for singers?
Little Big Town has a chick. I don't know if she's
She
attractive.
hot?
I haven't looked.
Randy, she hot.
Chris Stapleton has the voice of an angel, man. He was the one that sang the national anthem at the Super Bowl. I believe it was 2 years ago. Yes. Brought a lot of the players to tears. His voice
There
is
you go.
magnificent. You would love it.
I don't watch Super
My
Bowl.
mom's a big fan of him.
She'll
But
be mad at me then.
yes. Anyway, yes, Randy, to answer your question, we did have a
Yes.
couple of comments. So
Okay.
last week we talked about catering tips and tricks. And so we had some more questions just kind of following up on that topic
Okay.
that I feel like would be good to address. The first one for you, is from YouTube, and Tito F from Cedar Rapids, Iowa, said question
Tito
for
Francisco, my buddy
yes. He said
Tito.
question
What's he
for
leaving
the
a
legend.
comment on YouTube? He just normally just texts me.
Well, probably because we asked him to start leaving comments. He wanted to hear us talk about it. Well, and he said question for the legendary Darren and Mr. Twyford.
Oh, there you go. There you go.
See, he's sucking up.
Yeah.
Boy,
Yep.
he's got some kick-ass bao buns. Oh, man, he's got some kick-ass food.
Yeah. But he asked, do you keep in contact annually with clients who may have hired you in past for a catering event or catering events like galas, fundraiser events, etc., or do you wait for the client to reach out to you?
Well, I know our answer. I know the real answer should be we should be following up with everybody. I know the real answer is with our business, we can't even answer the damn phone fast enough. So no, we do not, but we really should. I mean, we don't do any of that, what they call customer relationship management. We don't, I mean, literally our catering business is so rocking and rolling. All we ever get done is take caterings. We don't really have any sales effort going into it. We try and do a little follow up with caterings during slow times of the year, which is now never. But we try and follow up and say, how was everything? Whatever. I'd really like to do a lot more of that and put some more resources to it. It's just one part of the business that, even though it's probably our most important part of the business, we just never find the time to work on that. Because ultimately that's how you glean from your customers is, how was your meal? Did you have enough beans? Did you have too many beans? Did you have enough pork? Did you have too many pork? Because that's where you could really glean a lot of intelligence from your customer if you had just a little 2 or 3 minute interview with them. But it's a matter of putting that resource to it. But all our resources right now are pretty much order takers and being able to get those into the system. Now, what I'd really like to do, and back to our total party planner comment from last week, is trying to how do we get those transactional customers to become more electronic. And as they become more electronic, then you can start to take those resources and do those type of things.
Sure.
But right now, they're order takers and they're problem solvers about how do I get the orders into the system and taken care of.
Well, I try to follow up on some of them. When I get a little slow time and I'm sitting there looking, I'll go pull up last year's schedule, when we had last year's calendar, and I'll go through and like I've got a big catering we've done for the last 2 years, and I was looking the other day. I need to get a hold of them and just drop them an email and say, hey, I'm not sure whether you're going to do that again this year, but if you do, we sure are interested in helping out on it, type deal. And I've done the same thing with people that have had some Christmas parties, because Christmas parties are far and few between around here. And same deal of sending out an email, following up, just reminding them, hey, if there's anything we can do, we'd sure like to help you out. So
my stomach just turned when you mentioned Christmas, which made me think of holiday meats.
Right.
Which you need to start thinking about.
Just turn. Because So,
Have you been thinking about them? It's kind of that time of year where you have to.
have I been thinking about it? Yeah, no.
I need to do more of it. And
I think we
when you
need to
have
do
some,
less of it. I think we need to.
Yeah.
I think we need
Randy,
to.
if you.
I think we need to double our prices and see how many we want to do.
sure.
Yeah, because, I mean, I've only helped with it a couple of times, but it's a real production, Randy,
Oh, the
if that's something
holiday,
you're thinking. Yeah.
the Christmas
The
stuff. Oh,
holiday
yeah, I
meats.
know.
If
Yeah, I
that's something
know.
you'd ever actually want to do, I'd really reconsider it.
Yeah.
Because.
We've done it on a smaller scale.
Oh, you've done some stuff. It's just it's tough because I mean, especially the way we do it because we do it.
So
You know,
efficiently.
a lot of places now do it. You know, and they're cooking up those turkeys and cryovac them and throw them in the freezer, and then they're just taking them out and thawing them out, whatever. I mean, shit, we're
Right.
doing everything fresh in that last day.
In those last day or two, sure.
Yeah, I mean, and so it's gotten that every smoker, in addition to all the meat production and everything, all that every smoker's just smack pack full all the time. Yeah, it's crazy. Ugh, ugh. That makes my stomach turn right now, but we'll get through it. We always get through it.
You always get through it, so
We always get through
exactly. So I think
Mom's
the
also
moral of the
back,
story
so.
is we all need to do more of it, but we don't.
Yep.
Of following up.
From a marketing standpoint, it's very important and should be something. Even if it's just using or utilizing a CRM tool like a Salesforce or something like that just kind of makes it easier for you.
Yeah, but make it don't.
Yeah, you don't want it to be automated, but
you want it to be
you do want it to be
exactly.
But using one of those tools, you can still personalize them, but it just helps you kind of keep it all organized, essentially.
Total Party Planner will do the same thing for you.
Yeah, just
their contacts and all that stuff.
And it's just a good way to kind of keep you in people's minds.
Right.
That's kind of the big thing. Is always
right.
Because
our biggest thing
you're not always
right. But Tito, if you want to practice, come on over for a couple months, and we'll let you head that up, and you can practice all you want, buddy.
Yeah.
For free.
It's for free. Free training. It's you guys have a pretty good system. I mean,
we have a great.
You can always improve.
We have a great.
I mean, it could always improve.
I mean, it's like it's just think about the customer. I had another episode, not to sway around, but just think about the customer. Think about the customer.
Mm-hmm.
Think about the customer. And I'm just like tonight. I'm in the restaurant today. I went there for 5 minutes. 4 hours later, I walked out of there. 3 hours later, I walked out of there. And one of the managers walked up and said, "We're out of daily specials." And I'm like, "It's 5:30 on Sunday night. What do you mean we're out of daily specials?" "Well, we're out of turkey. Evidently, we didn't order any more of the turkey." And I'm like, "We have all kinds of turkey. Why didn't we just cook off more turkey?" "Well, that's turkey breast, and we cook off the white and dark meat roast and whatever." I'm like, "It's okay. People will. Why don't we just serve our smoked turkey and just ask people, say, hey, would you still like our Sunday special? But we're just subbing our smoked turkey because we're out of our regular turkey. Would you like our smoked turkey instead? It's turkey." And just ask them that. And if they don't, then it's fine. Then we're out of our normal special. And then Randy, our GM, says, "Well, we have turkey breasts that are cooked back here that they don't have the rub on them. They're cooked." I'm like, "Well, shit, even better. Step into my office." So I go back into the meat room and I grab the turkey breast and I flip the skin off of them and I cut them an inch wide and I just start chunking them into pieces and I throw it in the pan. And I said, "Here, boom, there's your turkey. Go heat it up. We're back in business." And they're like, "You can do that?" I'm like, yeah, it's turkey. It says
Problem solving.
turkey on the menu. Hot turkey. Oh, wow.
Boom.
Sweet. Thought about the customer because I got a lot of customers that like to come in on Sunday night personally, because every time we're out on Sunday night, I get the old, what the fuck, Darren? You're out at 5:30 on Sunday night. You know we come in on Sunday night for hot turkey. Crisis averted.
Crisis
But
averted.
think about the customer. But back to catering.
That one.
Think about the customer. Think about them.
Yeah. Oh, so then we had another question. We've been getting a lot of comments lately, and I would just like to let everybody know that I appreciate it greatly. And I love it so much.
Makes our life so much easier.
Yes. And also, I just like an occasional notification on YouTube. It just makes me feel good. Feels like we're doing something.
You got your notifications on?
No, but I check YouTube pretty regularly. I don't know if you know this, but I get paid to do this, so I kind of try to keep an eye on stuff.
I forgot you were on the payroll.
Yeah. So I just try to go the extra mile sometimes,
Randy,
and keep an eye on this stuff.
Since we've made you famous, Randy, when are we going to talk about splitting this payroll?
Oh, look, Randy's disconnected.
Hello?
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 Hello? Hello? Hello? Hello? I can't hear anything. Hello? Hello?
Don't worry. Payroll's big enough, Randy. I don't even know she's there.
Exactly. I can only imagine.
That's how I like to keep it. Anyway, so we got another question from this John House, I believe. And he wanted to know a little bit more about portion sizes. And he asked if we could elaborate on how many portions of a side or protein do you generally expect to fill half full and full foil pans from, like, he used an example of the Sam's Club brand.
Full-size restaurant pans.
Yep.
Yeah, which we would call them, in our world, we'd call them half pans and full pans.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Right. And, pretty much, you're talking about a half size pan or a 4-inch full foil pan. That's the two. I mean, we use a lot of deep half pans.
Right.
Too.
We do too.
We like a lot of deep half pans because we can put things like beans and stuff in them, and they only take up half a Schaefer. And especially when you're putting barbecue in them, we can fit about 10 pounds of meat in each one of those, and they expose the meat to a lot less air when they're on a buffet line. So it allows you put it in a full pan and they open up the pan lid and the entire amount of meat's exposed to air. Whereas if you keep it in a half pan, just the top, so just a third the amount, or half the amount of, less than half the amount is exposed to air. So it's only half of it's drying out versus the whole pan's drying out. So that's the reason we like it. But, I think it all comes down to portion size. So, I mean, there's no perfect rule, but you got to think about, and Randy had to remind me a little bit, because we've always said, a standard rule for us is kind of, we're talking 15 portions of a potato casserole, mac and cheese. And, unless you're doing like a bean or a coleslaw or something, then you're going to get up to 20 out of it. And then we started talking about full pans, but then it really comes down to size of the portion, and how many ounces you're serving out of that portion. Because if you take, if you can fit, let's say 5 pounds in that half pan, right? You would say 5 pounds times 16 ounces. That's 80 ounces. And if you're doing a 6-ounce portion, that's really 13.3 servings in that half pan. Now, normally, if a 15-person catering, we're going to fill a half pan clear the full. And that's what we're going to send out, and that'll be enough.
Right. Well, and the other thing is kind of like you were saying, the weight, how the different weights of different things. Like a mac and cheese is going to weigh heavier than coleslaw, and baked beans always weigh heavier than green beans.
Right.
And so that's the other thing. I don't think there's a real tried and true, but it's just how many portions you're going to need.
Yeah. So, I mean, the big thing is get your menu and weigh your menu, right? Go get a portion of green beans, put it on the plate. We do that all the time. Take your plate, go get a serving of green bean, do the plate you're going to serve to the customer. A lot of time we use a lot of 3 compartment plates because people don't want crap going all over the place. And if you're going to do green beans, then they're going to put it in one of those compartments and take a spoodle or whatever and fill that portion up and what you want to serve to the customer and have it on the scale and say, okay, there's the weight of your green beans, and then say, okay, I'm going to serve this many portions. And then it's just a matter of calculating and then
calculating kind of backwards,
calculating out. And now, and then it's a simple calculation. Same with beans, same with mac and cheese. You're just remember if you're serving beans that if you put more than's there, it's going to spill all over the place. But if you're doing potato casserole, you can pile that up. You can go over the top.
Right.
Same with mac and cheese. Depends. You got runny mac and cheese, it's going to spill all over the place. If you got baked mac and cheese, they can pile it up and they can fit a lot more on their plate. So you got to be cognizant of everything's going to be different. So just know your menu, weigh your menu out. See what looks like a full plate. Some people are going to eat a lot more. Some people are going to eat less. And when you set up a buffet line, I guarantee the hungry boys are going to come through first. And you're going to shit your pants and you're going to think that you're going to run out of food.
Yep, exactly.
That's the way it's going to work every single time. You're going to panic. The first time you start catering, you're going to see them boys come through the line. You're going to go, holy shit, there's no way I have enough food. And then you're going to get to the end and you're going to have leftovers because the big hungry boys are going to come through first and the dainty women are going to come through last.
Yeah.
And that's just the way it's going to work. And you're always going to have enough if you fill up the plate because not everybody's going to eat a full plate. And some people are going to eat a little and some people are going to eat a lot. Big thing, you just want to have enough and just have enough for everybody to have a full plate. Don't try and cut a customer short and just give them enough.
Because everybody remembers the caterer that ran out of food. They don't remember the caterer that had plenty of food.
Right.
Oh, yeah. I like that. So then to follow
price
that.
And price it accordingly, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And then to follow that, he kind of asked, his question says, if you want to make mac and cheese, beans, or potato casserole, roughly how much of the raw ingredients are you needing to fill each pan? How do you kind of...
Well, I mean, we don't make mac and cheese and, we don't think of that. So we don't make recipes per pan, right? And most people don't.
No, we don't either.
We're making bulk recipes. So like when if we're making beans, we're making even back then, you're not mixing your recipe in that pan, right? So like we deal with tubs. We call them Lexan tubs. So when we do beans today, we'll have a recipe that we'll have, and these tubs hold like 3 or 4 gallons. And so we'll mix so many cans of beans, but we have what we call bean juice or goo or whatever the hell. I don't even know what we call it in our system, but it has, barbecue sauce and minced onion. And then we mix brisket crumb in there and all kinds of goodies. So we dump all the juice out of the brisket. And in essence, we add flavored juiced or flavored stuff back into it, brown sugar and all that stuff that's mixed in. And it goes back to an exact ratio. You want to make your beans exactly the same every single time. Right. We make it in batches. And so, we make it in batches. And so then we dip out. So if we need a half pan, we dip out of there. If we need a full pan, and you can walk into my cooler right now and I guarantee there's, going into a Monday, but we probably got 9 things of beans, that are sitting there. We probably got 35 gallons of beans going into a Monday, and you go into a Friday, we probably got 50 gallons of beans sitting there ready to go.
And just like us, when we make our potatoes, our potato casserole, we make it start out with a case, and one case is 36 pounds of potato cubes, and that's going to yield me 54 pounds. So
Right.
then I look at how many pounds I'm going to need for the next few days, and then make it accordingly.
Right. But you're going to make it by the case quantity in
Yes,
most cases,
exactly.
in most instances anyway.
Now, there has been some times if we're not going to have much going on, I'll make a half batch, but that's or I just need a little bit more to finish out a batch. But that's primarily, I don't do that. We do it all in 54-pound batches, uh,
Yeah.
and we work from there. So,
Yeah. So, I mean, you set your batch sizes and, we have certain items that aren't big movers that we have half batch. We used to have nothing but batches, and now we have we have full batches, quarter batches, half batches, and depending on what production needs, because we've went from a company that used to make big batches and would last 3 or 4 days, and I'm the guy now that I want to make potato salad every day.
right.
I want it to be as fresh as possible, and we got the staff to do it. And I want to make a lot of my side dishes every single day. Could I make them? You got 7 days shelf life. I could make a big batch and let her run all day, but I don't like it that way. I just
Right.
soon be fresh as I possibly can. So we do a lot of half batches and quarter batches and whatever. Just takes a little bit extra time, but it just shows in the end product.
Yeah, you got a better product at the end. So,
Yep. And no waste.
That makes sense.
yeah.
That
And what
makes
was that
sense.
last comment? What was that last
And
comment?
no waste.
There you go. And no waste.
You can't make any money throwing away. These guys that serve, that drives me crazy. I still see that every day. It's like the people that I have my leftover brisket. I just put it in my beans, and I'm like, oh Jesus, there's no way if you think you're cutting brisket and you're still surviving and putting all your leftover brisket in your beans, you know what goes in my beans? Anything that almost fell on the floor, but I have a sheet pan there to catch it.
Exactly.
And it goes there to the exact ratio. And it replaces the bacon that used to go in the beans. But then I figured, and we used to throw all that brisket scrap used to go in the trash, till I figured out that bacon and smoked brisket bring two things to beans: texture and smoke flavor. And they both have the same exact thing. And that's the only thing they add. So it doesn't matter whether it's bacon or brisket. Or brisket ends, and it doesn't matter whether they're hard, whatever, because you run them through the chopper and they're both the same exact texture. So it's just, I don't know, just one of those things that you find ways to save money.
And utilize what you have.
Yep. Utilize what you have. Yeah, the more things you can use in that's, I'm going through that right now as we develop this restaurant, as we develop this restaurant. I'm having the breakfast restaurant. I'm finding things that I really want this on the menu, but I'm finding, God, that's a single source thing. I really want it on there, but it's a single source item. I'm probably taking that menu off.
Right.
And now I'm kind of stuck that I really want that fried bologna sandwich on there. But it's a single source item.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Maybe. Unless the ham salad goes on the menu. Then it becomes two. And
You're going to use the bologna in the ham salad?
Well, every grandma uses bologna in their ham salad.
Really?
You didn't know that, Randy?
No, I didn't know that.
Every grocery store in the world uses bologna in their ham salad.
Okay. I didn't realize that.
You didn't know that?
No, surely didn't.
Try ham salad with ham. Not very good.
Just doesn't have the flavor to it?
No, it doesn't.
I'll be damned.
Yeah. Ham salad is 99% of the time is ground up bologna.
There you go.
That's interesting.
That's the learning tip of the week.
Learning tip of the week.
Yeah.
So anything else?
Yeah, John had a lot of questions. So, he also asked, well, let me make sure you guys didn't just cover it while you were talking. Okay, no, you didn't. I don't think. If you did, so sorry. It says for food orders from a customer as an example. If you determine you need 12 pounds of raw pork butt to get your finished cook weight / yield, but you now need to buy more than one pork butt to give you 12 pounds raw weight, how do you manage that for food costing?
Well, I mean, to me, you solve it one of two ways. So you can either cook it off and save some, cryovac and put it in the freezer and mix it into your next batch. You're not gonna give the customer more than they ordered, right? You're not gonna cost it out just because you had to buy it. So to me,
Right.
there's one of two ways you solve this, right? You can either cook both butts off, right, and take the finished product raw, or probably the way that and that's probably the more popular, or another way to got an itch in my ear. I hate when this happens. You guys thought I was having a seizure.
That's exactly.
Yeah, I was a little worried.
Yeah, I know.
I
know.
You just go up and then twitching
the other
out.
way you could handle that is you could buy that pork butt and you could cut the end of that pork butt off, the money muscle end, right in front of that bone, and you could cook part of it and take the rest of that pork butt and throw the raw pork butt in the freezer, and next time you cook it, you could thaw that part out and turn that in.
Yeah.
So you could then freeze the butt and probably even have better luck doing that from a quality standpoint than freezing the cooked pork. You could freeze the butt and actually thaw out the raw butt and use it in your
Thaw
next
it
meal.
out in time when you want to put together
Yep.
another meal.
And a lot of people, they don't think of things like that. It's like, if you need to cook pork fast and you don't have much to cook, and people are like, man, I got this big pork butt. Man, I need to cook it fast. Well, cut this sumbitch in half. Just cut it in half.
Right.
Cook the bone end and cook the money muscle end and cut it in half. Now, instead of a 10-pound pork butt, you got 2 5-pounders. Cook
Two
twice as fast.
5-pounders.
Right? Just cut it in half.
Mind blown.
Same with the brisket. Same with anything. Right?
Meh. I mean, that
Want
makes
anything
sense.
to cook fast? Cut it in half.
Cut it. That's your quote of the day.
Cut it
Cut it in half. When in doubt, cut in half.
If you want something to cook fast, cut it in half. But yes, when in doubt, cut it in half.
Still gonna cook the same, just faster.
Yeah. Yeah.
That
seems pretty
trust me.
simple.
When they've screwed up a load of pork overnight and screwed up something and sent it, threw it to the bottom in the racks and whatever, and we need pork, easy. Start throwing pork butts at me. I'll start cutting money muscles off and get that other smoker going. I can cut little 2 and 3 pound pork butts. I can have them suckers done in 3 hours and have pork for lunch.
There you go.
No problem at all.
Okay, so then John's last question. Do you charge for both butts needed and then charge your food cost accordingly from that and give the customer more meat than requested?
No.
No.
Not at
No.
all. Not at all.
I think we just answered it.
Yeah. Not
Did
at
you?
all. Not at all. The yield is, hey, I'm cooking a whole. The yield is I'm cooking a whole butt, which normally on a butt we're figuring 55% yield. So,
Right.
Which by the way, pork butts are coming down in price. I'm liking that. Come down 30 cents in the last couple of weeks. I'm really liking that. So,
We do
Which is
really
driving-
love that.
which is driving my cost of sausage because I'm getting for the new breakfast restaurant, we're making fresh sausage. So, my cost of sausage is coming down 30 cents a pound too. So I'm really liking
Good.
it. Yeah. Now, if I could just
That
get
is
it
exciting.
open before the price goes back up, that'd be good.
Exactly.
That would be great.
Great.
But anyway, that's all I had for questions from last week's
right.
episode.
Okay. I think Randy has to poop or something. He's getting very short.
Yeah.
No, I'm not.
And it's
He's just tired.
7:46 on Sunday night, and I haven't had
Oh.
lunch yet.
What the hell? She went into X-rays.
No, I just turned on. The
Was there a
sun has
nuclear
gone down.
flash or something up there?
No, the sun has gone down. It was getting really dark, so I
What
just
the
turned on the
Sam
lamp.
Hale?
When the sun
Kinda late.
goes down on her side of town.
Okay. Well, but I think that's it. So we can
All
get
right.
Randy to bed.
Yeah, it's time to go to bed.
Darren,
It's 7:45.
Darren needs to
need to
eat.
eat. Darren's
I'm gonna
getting-
have to stay up late to edit this
Da-
podcast.
Darren's starting to get hangry.
I will say, if Randy's not uploaded in the next hour, this podcast is coming out a little later than normal. Sorry, guys, if you get
It's
it
okay.
at
Sorry,
10
Parrot
a.m.
I'll be
on
on.
Monday.
Parrothead's the only guy that listens to it at 6 o'clock in the morning. So sorry, John.
Yeah.
You just got to wait till 7.
Yeah, I apologize, but
Randy, why don't you get something? You want me to call Elon, see if I can get you a complimentary Starlink?
That'd be nice.
Yeah, I can call him. I got
Yeah,
a
he knows
conference
it.
call with him and RFK and Trump tonight or later. So
Yeah,
talk
yeah.
about the
So
new government.
shut up.
Just mention what.
Stop.
Just
Stop.
mention to him what we're going to
Nope.
need. So.
Stop. We don't talk about that here. We don't talk about that here.
Well, we're just gonna have a
Okay.
conference call about keeping the
No.
chemicals out of kids' cereal.
Yeah.
Anyway, this is episode 71. I'm gonna
71.
go.
Remember, 2 fingers.
There you go.
Okay.
Why? I need to get. Anyway, this is Cue the Mic, episode 71. Follow us on social media if you haven't already. We're at Cue the Mic Pod, or find us on YouTube at Cue the Mic Podcast if you want to watch it and leave comments. Randy, take it away so I can go.
Boom. Done. Over with. Out of here. Adios.
Bye-bye for now.
We'll see you guys next week.